So I'm here at Shadow Falls in search of the Dike volcano ash bed in the between the layers of the Platteville limestone. Go read the plaques here. It looks as if they're trying to maintain this monument. It's a recent plaque. Looks like some of the plaques have gone missing. So kudos to them for maintaining this monument. So Equatorial Minnesota mentions a walking path to the north of the monument in the overlook. There's downtown Minneapolis straight ahead. So, and I just saw people come up that path. So I'm gonna check that path out, see if I can find my outcrop for the Dike volcanic ash bed. So it's actually a pretty trail. Probably not the safest trail if you don't have good balance, and looks like there's some pretty good chances for bad falls or leg sprains. So I'm looking for a where this trail basically breaks out into the Mississippi River Valley, and I'll get a exposure of a wall of limestone. So I'm in search of here. That trail goes back up. Pretty time of year to be hiking. I think this is what I saw in Equatorial Minnesota. So, alright, I think I'm making progress here. So I'm going to hang a right probably to that flat area. Pretty colors in the trees here. So that's looking north up the Mississippi River. This is directly ahead of me. And then the up the hillside there is the monument and parking lot. So I'll go ahead and see if I can see my the outcrop. Looking at a slide on my computer screen here from earlier, but so these three people are basically on top of where I really wanted to do my collecting. So these two crevices, one right here and then one down here. I believe those are my Dike volcanic ash beds. So I just had to wait for them to move. I did try to do a little collecting over the side here, which I thought was an equivalent horizon. But anyways, I finally did get over there to collect because those people moved. Kind of a popular spot right now because the changing colors of the leaves and was drawing a lot of people, that little spot. So there we go. This is a map I've scanned out of Professor Sloan's book, Fossils and Fossiliferous Rock of Minnesota. This shows a contour map of the ash bed depth, post-compaction depth. This is the volcano, super volcano, not a regular volcano. This is what is now Minnesota up here in orange. So we can see as you move away from the volcano, the depth of the post-compaction gets thinner. We started out at about, what, 53 inches close to the volcano, 40 inches, 20 inches, 10 inches, 5 inches, and up in the Twin Cities here where we're at. You should see a, they call it the Dike K bentonite bed. This should be at about 2 inches, and it should be represented in this rock somewhere. It might be right about where those people are sitting. It did say the middle rock outcrop in Equatorial Minnesota, so I don't know exactly where I'm at on this hillside. But anyways, that's what I'm looking for. About a 2-inch, and it should be soft, so it'll actually be an indentation underneath the limestone as it'll weather quicker. I'll see if I can scoop some of that volcanic ash out. It's actually more into a clay, bentonite. Call it a clay. So here we are at my outcrop, the middle outcrop. This is Shadow Falls park. This above me is the overlook. And there's a natural outcrop of limestone that's an overlook. Pretty time of year to be out here. So I believe this gap here and this gap here are my Dike K bentonite, or I should say my volcanic ash layer from the Dike volcano. And here's my map. So this happened quite a long time ago. Here's the red's the volcano. This contour, green contour lines are the post-compaction depth of the volcanic ash. 40 inches here. A little closer to volcano, I believe that says 53. 10 inches, 5 inches. This green line here, it crosses through the Twin Cities. Should be, on average, about 2 inches. So this volcanic ash bed should be about 2 inches thick. I think from Equatorial Minnesota there, what I saw on that website, I think I'm in the right spot. I think this layer here is my K bentonite or Dike K bentonite. Also this. So a lot of the animal life that was represented down below me, basically 80% of it went extinct because of this volcanic ash. Most likely suffocated the little critters over the course of weeks, however long it took to deposit that much material. And then, so the layer below me is called the magnolia member of the Platteville. Typically pretty devoid of fossils in the Twin Cities. Elsewhere it has plenty of fossils, but for whatever reason, Twin Cities. But they say right below this layer is a shell bed in the magnolia member of the. So you may ask, when did this volcano happen? So it happened in the late Ordovician. I don't know, when was that? About 420, 50 million years ago. So it was a while ago. As far as animal life, crinoids, brachiopods, clams. There were some trilobites, arthropods. Basically, modern day insects came from those animals. So I'm going to take some back in a baggie. I'll look at it under magnification. This is going to be my specimen bag. There we go. Anyways, there it is, and it was just kind of a pretty trip. Worthwhile just to come out and get the scenery. But this is for sure Shadow Falls ahead of me. Just followed this ravine back, and there's the falls. Came in probably 100 yards, 150 yards from the river, something like that, maybe 200 yards. Get a little better view of it, get closer to it. Since I use this map, I probably should explain this black line has nothing to do with the volcano down here. This is the Keweenawen Rip. Basically, it's where the North American continent started to break in half, and oceanic crust, which is called basalt, started to squeeze up between the continental plate. So it basically went a little ways and healed itself. So this is kind of been an inactive fault line for a billion plus years. So it's it basically didn't turn into an ocean like the Atlantic or Pacific. It's just, for whatever reason, it just stalled. The continent started to split up, and it just quit. But that's where, if you're in Taylor's Falls or the North Shore, that darkish rock you see is that part of that rift, the Kiwi-Nelin Rift. It's a basalt, an oceanic crust. It's not continental crust. Shadow Falls shouldn't be too hard to find. You just take Summit Avenue west all the way to Mississippi River Boulevard at Tees there. So this is the overlook here. That's the falls down there. And not really a contour map here, but pretty steep slope to get down to the falls. But there are some footpaths that'll take you down there. Just be aware, treacherous footing, not for the faint of heart. The collection spot I did for the volcanic ash is just to the north of the outlook here. Here's the monument. There's a little bit of an outlook. So right up here is where I did my collection. Had to wait for some people to finally move out of the way, but they did.